Well, hello there and welcome to another show. Today we are painting this beautiful metal Wyvern sculpted by Pieper from Reaper Miniatures, and it's absolutely a beautiful miniature. Now I've already glued it onto a 75mm base boss base, and what I've got there is I've got some gravel onto the base, and I've got some pieces of wood and the little bits of twigs I've got for my dog walks. And what I've done, I've broken off the twigs and added it to the base. Now, as you can see, the dragon has a piece of wood there as well, which is supporting the dragon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to block in all the colours, including the base, and we'll come back and make a start on this miniature. Now, what I wanted to show you today is how nice we can make the base look just by adding a few little twigs. So we're going to be concentrating on the base and how to make a nice looking forest base. As for the dragon, I think we'll just go for some nice browns, and we'll make it blend in with the... Okay, so we've added some nice brown. Of course, we used our wood stain brown for the base of our miniature, and we've also got some slime, green slime used for the actual dragon. And what I've done, I've given it a coat of Nun Oil by Games Workshop, and that's brought out all those scales. Absolutely beautiful. Now, like I say, today I'm going to be showing you how to bake the grass, so we're not concentrating on the dragon so much today, but onto the base. Now, as you know, I've put some nice little twigs and painted them with wood stain brown. So what I'm going to do now to start the base to make it start looking more natural is we are adding some graveyard bone all over the wood areas and the floor, and this will bring out all the bark and the floor. And what we'll be doing is we shall be adding lots of foliage to the base, so it all blends in nicely and looks like a overgrown kind of woodland floor. And of course we can add leaves to the floor because it's a wooded area. So we can have some leaves, not so much grass. You don't get much grass in wooded areas, especially if it's a dense wood. You won't find any grass. So you're looking for little shrubs and little plant life, mushrooms maybe, all sorts of little bits. So first of all, we're just adding this just to bring out all the areas and make the wood come alive. This will be covered with a light brown ink wash after this. So the initial layer is quite bright, and then it will be covered completely with a brown ink wash. But what we'll do is we'll add all the foliage to the base first, and then that'll be the last part. So that's all done nicely, and now we'll start adding our little bushes and things to the base. For the bushes and things like that to add to the base, I'm using stuff like cheap little things. This is these are little pine trees from China. Cost a couple of pounds on eBay. So what you can do is you can actually rip off the top. Let's just come apart like this, and then you can start cutting the little leaves to size, and then you can start sticking them around the base, and they make excellent little foliage for the base. And the same with these little plants. Again, they're like for fish tanks and stuff, and you can cut these to size. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to glue some of these all around different parts of the base, and that's how we're going to build up the foliage. So it's very simple. We're just cutting the little leaves off, and then we'll add them to the base. As you can see, it's coming on very nicely now, adding these little leaves. What I've done, I've just cut the leaves off here, off the top of the pine tree, and made them into kind of like little ferns, little fern bushes. And what we can do is we just add a tiny little bit of super glue to the base, like so, and then we can just add this leaf. Just dot them around a little bit. It just adds to the foliage on the floor there. Now we're not going to overdo it, so as you can see I've added two there, just going over the log. We've got the tops of those little plants there just poking out, and we have one over the log at the back there. So what we'll do now is we'll start changing up, and we'll add some different foliage to the actual base. We'll start adding some leaves, and then we can finish that base off. For the last part of the base, we want to add some leaves all over the floor. So I'll move this and just show you what I've got. And what we have here is leaves. These are from Green Stuff World. They come in little pots, and it's like ground foliage, and it's the perfect woodland floor. It's lots and thousands of tiny little leaves. So what we'll do is I'll just PVA the base with some PVA glue, and I shall sprinkle the leaves across and stick them to the base. I've just added all the leaves with some PVA glue. As you can see, the PVA glue is coming through the leaves. So we've got to leave this to dry for a couple of hours now. And once that's dry, what I'll do is I'm going to add a very light brown ink wash because the leaves are a little bit too bright for a dark foliage floor in a wooded area. So we'll just add a little bit of ink wash over all the plants and the logs once that's dry, and that should be the base just about finished. So once that's dry, I'll come back and show you the finished base, and then I'll do a 360 of the actual finished dragon. For the base of the miniature, I'm using Vallejo Game Wash. This is a dipping formula, but it's also fantastic just to use for a brush for painting on, and it's a very cheap alternative from using Games Workshop paints and Army Painter washes as well. I highly recommend this wash. You can get it on eBay and most good model shops, so you'll be able to pick up this game wash. Now, I don't know, the prices have gone up a little bit. I used to be able to pick this up on Amazon. I think it was for about £8 a pot, $7.99. I think they might have doubled in price by now, but they're still hugely cheaper than buying your Games Workshop pots of wash. Now you get 200 milliliters, which of course is around 12 pots of Games Workshop Agrax Surfshade. So this is a really good alternative and saves you a bit of money. So what I've done now, I've added that to the base, and the base is just about drying now, and it's just about finished. So what I'm going to do is let it completely dry. I'll finish off the dragon, and then I'll give you a 360 of the completed miniature. But as you can see, by adding this brown ink wash, I've already added the brown ink wash, it's darkened the whole of the base, and it all blends in beautiful. It looks really nice, and you can do this for all your miniatures.